Hello and welcome again. As promised in my previous tutorial, today we will be looking at maps. So our main topic today is maps. Okay, so today you can realize that my commenting is in three lines. Well, the three lines is for document or documentation commenting. Okay, when you comment with the three lines and you generate documentations, it is going to, or when you call the class or method somewhere else in your code, it's going to actually show you uh, the commenting. Okay, so probably you have kept instructions there as to how to use the method or the class. When you call it in the three line or the three slashes, commenting would allow you to see what the instructions you have added along whilst creating the method. Okay, that's out of scope today. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just declare maps. We can declare maps in two ways. Okay, so one of the ways is what, var, then we call the variable, so we can call it my maps, sorry, my maps. And then what you can just do is to what, populate it with what, a key and value, uh, key and value, this variables. Okay, so we have what, my first name, username, and then column. Okay, that's how we do it, column. And then what is the username? So the username I wrote here is a key. Now what is coming after the column is the value. So what I'm adding there is what, owl 001 comma. Okay, and then I bring the next item. So the next item is what, password. And then I bring 1 2 3 4 5, so that's the value. So that is the first declaration of what, a map. So let's print it out. Print my maps. And then okay, so we have what, username, our password, our, okay, a password 1 2 3 up to 6. So now the other way of declaring a map is what, var another map is equal to new map. So we, that with that one we call it by what, or we create the new map by the class name. Okay, that's the object, the map object we are using to create it. Okay, so let's add items to it. So we call another map, and then this is what you do, and then you call the key. Okay, so the key, username, and then what we are going to add is the value, so equal to, and then we assign a value to it. So I'm changing another username, and then another map, we are adding another uh, so we are adding password, password. Okay, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6, that's our password. Now let's add the last one, user ID, and then UID, maybe, okay, just some string as my UID, and if it is string it has to be in this. All right, so let's print it out. Print another map. All right, so we have, oh, okay, it was still hanging up. So we have the map, another map printed out. Okay, so these are the two ways you can declare a map. Now with adding app items to the map, what you can do is that there's a method called add all. Okay, instead of repeating this, you could actually use the add all to what, add all those items. Now I'm leaving that one to you as a practice. Now this is how it works. I will not populate it up, I'm just going to show you. So new map dot add, so you see it's already showing. Okay, and then you see inside the bracket you populate it with what, key and value pairs. Okay, so what you can actually just do this, Okay, so and then you see what happens. So you see map dynamic order. So what it means is that when you are adding, you are going to be adding what maps which are what key value pairs. Okay, so we have add entries and then we have what add all. Okay, so that's they are all methods that allows you to what input or add values to what a map. Now a map can also contain another map. Okay, but I'm moving on. I'm not going to demonstrate that with you. I would want you to actually try your hands, and then if you have issues, just contact me, comment in my tutorials, and then I would reply to you. Okay, now I'm going to use some few methods. One of them is for each. I'm using it because we did loops, okay, in our previous video. So because of that, I'm going to use the for each loop, which is part of the map class, so that you appreciate why we learned what loops. Okay, so let's see that. So we can call another map and then dot. Okay, so there's a for each method as part of the class. So I want you to see that. So dot. Okay, so can you see it for each? Okay, and then what does it do? It has a function callback. Okay, and then it returns dynamic. So let me pass that, you may not understand. So let me just use it. So for each, and then what we are going to have in there is what value key, and then the next parameter is what value, and then because it's a function callback, we pass the arrow function in there. And then so if you know JavaScript, you already know what this arrow function is. So what we are going to do is that I'm going to print out what each of the values. Okay, just the value. Okay, first I'm going to print out the key. So print key. So what it will do is that for each of the items in the what map, it should print out the keys. That's just what it means. Okay, so that's one use of what the list, sorry, the loops. Okay, so you can see we have username, password, and what UID. So it has printed out only the user, sorry, the keys, leaving the what values. Now let me pass values in here, and you see what we get. A value, and then if I print out, we get Sule 001. Okay, so when I print out, we get what Sule 001 1 2 3 up to 6. That's the password, and then the what UID. Okay, so let's try another method before we wrap up. So we have another map. Now you see that we passed what keys and what value pairs to the map, and that's how maps work. So now we want to get all the keys out of the map. Okay, the keys only. We want the username, the password, the UID, just the keys. So this is what we do. There's a method called what keys. So we just call that. Well, I'm just going, let me pass it in here. So another map dot keys. So let's print that out. So you see we have what an iterable object containing what username, password, and then what UID. Now let's look at the other method which prints the value. So uh, another map dot value. So if you check up, they are all methods in what the map class. Okay, the documentation contains that. So we have what Sule 001 1 2 3 up to 6. So those are what the values. Now I want to see the length of my map, so I just call the dot length method. Okay, so it's already showing up. So dot map, the dot length. Okay, so it's telling me that I have what three. I have three items in my map. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of this session. But before I go, I leave here, let me just mention one more um one more method in the map class, which is what? The clear. So you can have another map dot what? Clear. So what the clear does is it simply, so I'm not printing that out. You can print out the clear. So I would rather clear and then print out the list, the map again to see what will be inside. So another map. So let's print that out. Okay, so we have what? An empty map here. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this session, and I hope to see you next time. Please share, subscribe, and like my videos. Your commenting are also important because it helps me to improve my content. Okay, thank you once again and see you next time.